When an innocent child goes missing, a fractured Hell's Kitchen will need to come together around Matt Murdock like never before. All this and more on the pages of Daredevil issue number 18. Let's hop on in together and find out what happens next. So, picking up from where the last issue left off, Belle, the daughter of Mindy, the woman that Matt Murdock had been seeing, was kidnapped by the Owl, all in an attempt to get at her grandmother, Izzy Libris, the Italian mafioso matriarch of Hell's Kitchen. This is a rather tenuous situation for Izzy right now. She just regained control of Hell's Kitchen, and now the Owl has made this personal attack on her and her family. It's also not like they can just go to the cops or anything. And her reactionary son ends up running off saying that he's going to settle this one himself and make it so people have to get involved. Now, speaking of the cops, from there we switch on over to Detective Cole North, who, oh me oh my, reads the NYPD The Riot Act. He says so much for New York's finest. An innocent kid has gotten kidnapped because of a gang war in Hell's Kitchen, and they're all either too lazy, too limp dick, or too corrupt to do anything about it. But more pathetic than the dirty cops, Cole says, who are at least getting paid to not do their jobs, are the good cops who are standing by and letting it happen. They get nothing out of the deal. But that if any of them want to actually hit the streets, protect and serve, and do their job, they can follow him right now, and a handful of them actually do, going against the storm winds and the mayor. Daredevil is working the case from his own end too. Everyone is absolutely terrified of the Owl, and because of that, no one's actually saying anything for his super hearing to pick up. Luckily, Cole North and the cops are ready to go and rattle some cages. The cops bust up one of the Owl's safe houses and get one of his henchmen to call him in a panic. It turns out the kid was never actually in Hell's Kitchen to begin with. The kid's actually on the move, which was actually a pretty big risk on Owlsley's part, leaving the one place in the city where he actively had protection. Then again, I'm sure he also feared reprisal from Libris's people. It's also right around here too, Detective Cole can't deny anymore to the other cops that he's getting help from the vigilante formerly known as Daredevil, and even though he was brought in to arrest this man, they start working together for the betterment of this kid in this part of town. Daredevil, using his super senses, manages to track down the van that's holding the kid. Turns out they drove all the way out to Harlem, but the cops have been able to stop them up. This leads to a standoff wherein the last remaining thug threatens to shoot the girl unless he's allowed to leave, but once again, Matt is able to quite literally hear this guy's heart and know that while he might be a scumbag, he's not a kid killer. Now, saving this kid and averting another gang war should probably be a huge cause for celebration, but it's absolutely not. The kid's dad ends up getting grabbed by the Owl's henchman. He was dumb enough to actually go to Owlsley's house. And while the Owl may not be able to hurt the Libris family in the way he originally intended, that's still not to say he can't send a big old middle finger to Izzy. Let us not forget that she lost one son already to an overdose, which no doubt would mean losing her other son would probably destroy her. Then again, that would also mean Mindy would be freed up for a relationship with Matt now, so, you know, silver linings, right, everybody? The real retaliation, though, this issue actually comes for the Kingpin. You see, the Stormwinds, the ones who have actually been masterminding all the horror in Hell's Kitchen from afar, figured that Kingpin must have let the cops actually get back to work as a way to spite them for their little feud they had previously. Though it quickly becomes apparent to the Stormwinds that Wilson is still a shadow of the man he once was following their attack on him. He's bedridden, so he couldn't possibly have given the order this time. This gets the Stormwind twins thinking, if Kingpin can't be trusted as their puppet mayor to deal with things in Hell's Kitchen, be it the cops or the superheroes, it looks like they're going to have to reach out to people who will, and because of that, they've hired not only Bullseye, but a whole army of supervillains to come and clean sweep everybody. And it's on that shocking note right there the comic comes to a close, everybody. And so that was Daredevil issue number 18, and once again, Chip Zdarsky keeps the hits on coming. I truly love this idea of Matt Murdock and Daredevil being this lightning rod that all the best parts of Hell's Kitchen rally around. I like that the Owl is actually kind of devious and actually kind of scary in a way that he's never really been in a lot of the other previous Daredevil runs. Cole North is winning my heart over as probably one of the best new characters of the last couple years. And oh look, much like how Daredevil got an updated costume, Bullseye got an updated costume too, one that kind of splits the difference between the mask look and the Marvel Knights no mask look. I dig the changes, and I dug this comic overall. I would give it another much deserved 9 out of 10. Quite simply one of the best things on the shelves right now, and will continue to be into the future.
Hey there everyone, Kate Joel again, and I just want to thank you so much for watching to the end of the video. It means a lot to me. And hey, if you enjoyed the book I covered in this issue and want some comics of your your own. Might I recommend Book Depository? It's my #1 place for shopping for comic book trades. You get a great price, and if you use my link down in the description, you'll actually be helping me out at the same time. You get something, I get something, everybody wins, right? So until next time, everyone, I've been Joel, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.